Legends Arceus was a new step for the Pokemon series. It took a whole new approach to what a Pokemon game could play like, and how you interact with the Pokemon around you. And personally, I was a massive fan of how it came out, so much so that I hope we get a new Legends game. But with the tale of Hisui complete, Legends needs to focus on a different Pokemon, a likely candidate being Kyurem. Scarlet and Violet had ended with a lot of Unova references, and following the typical release pattern, it wouldn't be a major surprise to see Unova revisited, especially so with the unexplored mystery of the original dragon. But Kyurem's not the only Pokemon I want a Legends game about. In fact, Kyurem is second on my list, and at the top, Pokemon Legends Necrozma. I feel like this opinion is somewhat controversial. This is the kind of title that I feel a lot of people would groan at if it was revealed at a Pokemon Presents, but hear me out on this one. As we saw in Legends Arceus, the titular Pokemon is not the entire focus of the game, as the games focus more around the lore of Hisui becoming Sinnoh and helping the Galaxy Corps better understand the region around them. I want Legends Necrozma for a similar reason. Not just for Necrozma, but for the opportunity to explore a new region, Ultra Space. Ultra Space was introduced in Generation 7 in Alola. There, we were briefly told that there are a vast amount of different dimensions and worlds connected through Ultra Space, and we got the chance to explore some very briefly. Here we also met the Ultra Recon Squad, a team dedicated to investigating Ultra wormholes and anomalies. They've had some prior history with Necrozma it seems, and help aid you in the fight against it. The group here is a key reason why I want this game. Using Ultra Megalopolis as a home base, I'd want the player to start the game by joining the Recon Squad to help them explore and investigate Ultra Space. Unlike in Legends Arceus, this game won't be taking place in the far distant past, but I think going back to the early days of the squad will be more interesting, as you get to see the group grow and become who they are in the present day. This format isn't too dissimilar to what we saw in Legends Arceus. It's a similar concept but in a new setting with new execution. With how dangerous and unexpectedly weird Ultra Space can be, this is why I think it would match the Legends gameplay really well. You will need to be able to interact and adapt to your environment. Much like how Hisui has segmented worlds that you could visit, this idea can return as different dimensions and worlds in Ultra Space, becoming less linear and more open to exploration compared to how we saw them in Ultra Sun and Moon, each with a powerful Ultra Beast rampaging through the area, kinda like the nobles we saw that became unsettled in Hisui. And we could see new Pokemon, new Ultra Beasts even. I'm a very big fan of all the Ultra Beasts, so I'd love to see new ones being introduced. And furthermore, why not push the ideas? We could have Ultra Space regional variants to existing Pokemon. Maybe we could see expansions for existing Ultra Beasts, like a proper usage to the Mother Niligo form, or maybe a new evolution, Mega Evolution? Of course I'm talking a lot about Ultra Space here, but I've not gotten much into Necrozma yet. I want Necrozma because I think the story that we got in Ultra Sun and Moon just didn't do it justice. I'd love a story that demonstrates Necrozma's power more, the threat it can impose on Ultra Space, and also how the Ultra Recon Squad attempts to handle it. In Ultra Sun and Moon, I felt that this story was most of the time overshadowed by the Aether plot, and when it did get more attention in the story, it felt rushed and inconsistent. I think it deserves its spotlight. And this could be a great opportunity to reintroduce Ultra Necrozma, a form which is currently no longer attainable, but perfect for a final boss. Imagine a boss fight similar to Arceus, but with this thing. So, what are your thoughts? Do you agree with why I want a Legends Necrozma? Have you got any further ideas on the concept? Or do you disagree? Please let me know in the comments, I'd love to see a proper discussion come from this. Thank you so much for listening to my ramblings, have a great day, and I'll catch you next time.